So I've got to start out this episode with a thank you for making my last week's episode what is it? What did I call it? What did I title it? The Platinum of it all. The most listened to episode of Trent Takes On 2.0 in about 3 months. So I appreciate that. It had a tremendous first week. Thank you. To those of you who are new, thank you for coming back. For those of you who are existing and sharing me with friends, thank you. I'm thankful today for so many things. Unfortunately, I do have to apologize right out of the gates. I don't have a whole lot of time today. I am parent on duty for a whole bunch of kids over at my house right now. They are currently finishing their lunch and then going to start their game of Monopoly. So I only have about 15 minutes. I am watching them on a little monitor off to the side here. But you know, it's one of those things. I just want to be close to them. I was unaware that I was going to be the parent of the day, but I'm the parent of the day, so I've got to watch them. And that's how it is. But I'm going to squeeze in a 15-minute episode of Trent Takes On 2.0. So let's do that. Once again, welcome back to Trent Takes On 2.0. I'm the Trent from the title of the show. This is going to be a short one. I have to admit to something. I'm very into the World Cup right now, even though I should probably be boycotting it because we're being such assholes about it. The United States has not been a good host nation. We've been actually a really tragically bad host nation to the people who are coming here from outside the country who want to support their teams. Because the people in the White House and the people running the executive branch of our government is racist as hell, and so there's that. I consider it supporting the sport, which is sometimes doesn't deserve it because FIFA is corrupt as hell. But I do love the game still, and I have hope that we can fix some of these things. And that includes the executive branch of the United States government. So I'm sorry I haven't been completely steeped in the news over the last week. I've actually missed a couple things, and I read about many things this morning and was just floored. But I did want to come on and talk real briefly about something very specific that has happened and that is, I guess, in process. And that is the Memo of Understanding between the United States and Iran. And apparently Israel as well. I don't know. It's very confusing because they refuse to put out the text of it. And as of the time where I record this, that they haven't released the text of it that I've seen. So this Memo of Understanding is the first step in working towards a treaty to end the war not war that was started by Donald Trump and Benjamin Netanyahu of Israel all by themselves. I don't know if Netanyahu got permission from the Israeli parliament to launch their attacks, but they did. And I'm positive that Donald Trump did not receive any authorization to participate in this attack on Iran that has been ongoing. But he did it, and he said it would only be 4 or 5 weeks. He kept calling it a little excursion. We're going to go on a little excursion. It's like watching fucking Dr. Evil if Dr. Evil were like 10 times more stupid than he already is. Austin Powers reference, guys. Donald Trump. Okay. So they gave us all these reasons that they were doing this 4 or 5 week war. They said it was going to be over briefly. It's been 4 months. And technically, with a Memo of Understanding, we may have a ceasefire. We may not. I don't know. Supposedly, it's in there. But from what I've read, we didn't do anything with their ballistic missile capability, which was one of the things that we wanted to stop. We wanted to stop them from having ballistic missiles. We wanted to stop them from gaining a nuclear weapon, which means we have to stop their nuclear development program. Of course, in this memo of understanding, that's not in there either. So they still have their nuclear development program. They still have ballistic missiles. They get okay. So they have control of the Strait of Hormuz. What was the other thing he promised? Oh, Donald Trump said regime change. The same regime is in charge, just not the same guy. We killed the 86-year-old guy, and now his 58-year-old, even harder line son is in charge. So we didn't accomplish the regime change. We didn't get the nuclear material. We didn't destroy their ballistic missile capability. Apparently, we're very excited to have destroyed their navy, which, I mean, the world famous Iranian navy. That was what? Also, they're going to continue to be the largest state sponsor of terrorism in the world. So they're going to continue to fund their proxy terrorist groups like Hamas and Hezbollah and the Houthi rebels, and you name it. There's just a bunch of them. Anyway, we got none of those things that were told to us. This is why we're doing this. We didn't give the power of the Iran over Iran to the Iranian people. We didn't do that either. Okay. So we didn't accomplish anything. And in the Memorandum of Understanding, we don't get any of those things. What they're going to do is reopen the Strait of Hormuz to regular commerce, which is the way it was before the attacks. Iran is going to get $24 billion that was of their money, which was being held in sanctions against them. They are going to get sanction relief going forward, and they're going to get a $300 billion fund for rebuilding Iran from all of the damage that we've done. Did I miss anything? I think that was it. And Israel has to back off of its position in Lebanon and retreat back to Israel. Right now, the front lines of the Israeli-Hezbollah conflict is like 6 miles into the nation of Lebanon, and anyway, they're supposed to go back. I don't know. The early returns were Netanyahu would never agree to that. Also, Netanyahu has to stop firing missiles into Iran. Okay. Anyway, so that's the Memo of Understanding. So, what did we get out of this war? And it was a war. We lost, I think it was 14 service members killed in action. There were many casualties as well, or many injuries as well. Not they count as casualties, but they're not fatalities. There were many other injured service members. We spent the Trump regime is claiming it spent $70 billion in the 4 months of the war. Experts on the outside are saying it's probably double or more of that. So that's just the money in weapons, fuel, all of the excess troop deployments, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So that's just the cost to the military. Now, we've dealt with hyperinflation, specifically in not hyperinflation, but very high inflation, specifically in regards to oil prices and therefore gasoline prices. It has cost the American public, all of us, a whole lot more than $150 billion. I've read estimates from $600 billion to well over $1 trillion. And that's just in gasoline and the increase in gasoline prices and products. Also, fertilizer's gone up 50%. And let's see, what else? What else happened here? We killed a bunch of civilians. Probably committed a whole bunch of war crimes. Yeah. So what did we get out of this? Well, we got the opportunity to hand over $300 billion. Okay. We got none of the things that they said that they wanted to do. Okay. And the inflation is still here for the foreseeable future until the supply chain gets put back together. And if you learned anything from the Biden economy, supply chains being messed up if you get it fixed, it lasts a long time. There are long time repercussions to the disruption of those supply chains. So we'll see how long the inflation lasts. My guess, minimum 6 months. Minimum 6 months. Okay. So that means this isn't actually a ceasefire. It's not a peace treaty. This is a surrender. The word you're looking for is surrender. We gave Iran everything they want, and we got nothing for it. Nothing. This war, and it was a war, was unilateral. It was one person making this decision on behalf of all 340 million Americans, usurping the power of the legislative branch, who is supposed to be the only ones who can greenlight military use as an offense. Okay? Offensive military use, that's the purview of the Congress. The Congress declares war, not the president, not the Department of Defense, who thinks it's now the Department of War, not Whiskey Pete Hegseth, not Just Dance Vance. Nobody can declare war except Congress. But they skipped that part and just did whatever they wanted and just didn't, quote unquote, call it a war, except they called it a war all the time. And now we have a memo of understanding to end the not war, that is complete capitulation. It's surrender. They got nothing for any of this. I guess the thing that they did get was they distracted from the Epstein files for 4 months. That's what they got. Well, I hope everybody remembers this when it comes time to vote again. Now, before I take off, I'm almost out of time here. Before I take off, I want to talk about voting again. There has been a concerted effort to call foul on California elections and the California primaries because California takes a little bit longer to count than we want. But the reason that it takes them longer to count is because there are a lot of mechanisms in place to ensure what the Republicans scream about all the time: election integrity, voter integrity, election integrity. Every ballot that is mailed has to go through signature verification with the signatures on file with the California Secretary of State's office. It's not a department here. It's a Secretary of State's office, which is the elections office here in California. So, fun fact, my ballot was accepted. I actually dropped off my ballot in a mailbox, in a drop box, not a mailbox, in a drop box the Sunday before the Tuesday election. We waited until the very last minute because I wanted to see, I wanted to make sure that the polls gave me an idea of how the Democratic or how the gubernatorial primary would shake out. We just wanted to make sure it wasn't Republican versus Republican. So I waited until the last minute-ish, and I took it in. I received my text messages from the Secretary of State saying on Monday that my ballot had been received, and on Tuesday that my ballot was being processed. I still have not received the text message saying my ballot has been counted. So I still haven't been counted yet. Fun fact. So it does take a long time, and it's because they match every signature. It's because every single ballot is hand-checked. and then fed through machines to count. That's right. There are live streams. You can live stream all of these different offices doing their counting because it's completely transparent. Citizen watchers, any citizen can go in and watch the counting of ballots from a specific area in each ballot counting area, ballot counting processing center. That's what they're called. Hello, Trent. I got you. Processing center. There are representatives from every political party, from every campaign that's on each ballot at every processing center to be on hand to make sure that there aren't any shenanigans. We actually have one of the safest and most, well protected voting systems in the country. The problem is it takes too long. And I actually agree with that. It does take too long. We should be way faster than this. We need to update the system a little bit. We need to make some investments in it to upgrade the system. We could do that across the country, for the record. Make lots of investments to make things more secure. But that's not what Republicans want to do. It's not what Donald Trump wants to do. They want to stop people from voting. And that's the problem. That's what we're facing in November. Okay? Pay attention. Check your registration constantly. Find out as much as you can about the way you want to vote before you vote, whether it's in person or by mail or early voting. You have to know what's going on. We are going to have to crawl through glass to get this done, apparently. And my guess is we're willing to do that. Donald Trump, who controls the United States Postal Service, has issued a rule saying that the Postal Service has to match vote by mail ballots with their voter list, the federal voter list. This is an unnecessary bullshit, unconstitutional, illegal, bass-ackwards fuck you to the American voting system, to democracy itself. And if you don't believe that, I don't know what to tell you. The states determine the manner, timing, and counting of our own elections, even the federal ones. The federal government does not have a role to play in elections except to set statutory, that means legal, limitations on what states can and cannot do. That does not include the President of the United States signing executive orders that pretend to be laws. This law, this executive order would be law that they want to essentially, they don't want to ban vote by mail. They've actually really distilled this down. They actually only want Republicans to vote by mail. And the rest of us have to stand in line. Well, I've got bad news for you. The response is, F you. We ain't playing like that. We will vote in this midterm election, and you will lose the House of Representatives and probably the Senate. And we will begin to hold you accountable. Deservedly so. Now, I say all of that with the knowledge that this will not be easy. We're all going to have to do our part. And that may include Trent actually sticking to 15 minutes at a time instead of going over to 20 like he just did. Shit happens. But pay attention. Stay in the know. Stay aware. Stay up to date. Don't overdo it. I warn you. I overdo it from time to time, and I get way too deep in the weeds, and oh my God, it drives me fucking crazy. I'm going to say it. Full F-bomb. Fucking crazy. It drives me berserk. The shit that this regime gets away with. That it shouldn't. It should not. They ignore legal precedent. They ignore laws. They ignore judges' rulings. They ignore the Constitution itself. They do whatever the fuck they want, and they have to be stopped. And that's what this midterm is about. We talk about affordability, blah, blah, blah. Republicans are making everything more expensive. That's fucking true. That's absolutely fucking true. And they don't even ask for permission. They just do it. They cut taxes on the rich, increase the burden on the poor, and then they make everything more fucking expensive because they can. The richer you are, the better you're doing right now. The poorer you are, the worse you're doing right now. That's the Republican fucking way. And if anybody tells you differently, they don't know what's going on. These are dark fucking times. The lack of pushback on anything that this lawless, corrupt, abusive regime has perpetrated is criminal. The Republicans in Congress who refuse to find any semblance of backbone to stand up for themselves and their constituents is disgusting and a violation of their oath of office. Donald Trump should have been impeached, give or take, 100 times already. Yet, here we sit, right where we've been, with a lawless, corrupt, abusive autocrat attempting to become the king of America. So, focus. We got to stay focused. We got to stay focused, and we can't continue to burn our own over things that are marginal. Going to have to build a bridge. You're going to have to get over it. We're not going to be electing popes here. Some of these guys may have checkered pasts. See Graham Plattner. But by comparison, what are we looking at? You know? Donald Trump calling into question Graham Plattner's character is one of the fucking craziest things I've ever heard. Donald Trump questioning the character of anyone is bat guano crazy. Are you effing kidding me? A serial philanderer, a 34-time over felon, a person whose charity was shut down because he and his family were stealing money from a charity to help kids with cancer. Fuck. Oh, it's the stupidest timeline, I swear. So, I'm not going anywhere yet. I'm still dug in. I'm still fighting the fight. I was back this week with my buddy George. We recorded over the course of the weekend at some point, and I eventually released it because I had all kinds of trouble getting the audio straight. But I finally mostly did. No Plan, No Problem is available anywhere where you find this podcast except YouTube. Because reasons. Yuck. Please check out No Plan, No Problem, and we would appreciate that. Now, thank you for being with me on this journey. Thank you for sticking with me. Thank you for being a part of what I consider the real resistance. Just regular, everyday people who are paying attention, who talk to each other about these things, right? You talk to a friend, right? You talk to a friend. If you don't want to talk to them, I'll talk to them for you. Just share the podcast. That's how it works. It's cool. It's already there. It's free. Don't cost nothing. I don't even run ads. If somebody came to me with an ad, if one of these AI companies came to me with an ad, hey, Trent, this is so-and-so from Anthropic. We want to pay you to do advertising for Anthropic. I'd be like, yeah, fuck off. I'm anti-AI, my friend. So, keep the conversation going. But don't overdo it, because you go crazy. And you drive other people crazy, too. In the meantime, I'll be back with another Trent Takes On before you know it. Hopefully, I said maybe last week. the No Plan, No Problem recording and then the aftermath of it chewed up way too much of my time. Let me tell you. So, all right. I'm going to check out for the day. I'm going to go. I'm watching these kids right now that looks like the Monopoly game is getting a little bit heated. So, thank you for listening. Please share me with a friend. And don't forget the motto of this show, be good humans. Okay? It's the least we can do. Until next time. Love you.